Dan with S3 Archery here, and I wanted to shoot a quick video that Joe and I have been talking about for a while here and have been on our minds, but recently kind of culminated when we went out to Kalamazoo and just saw the variety of options out there for us as traditional archers and how blessed we are with what we want to call the traditional identity. And kind of the idea behind this traditional identity is that traditional archery in general has this huge spectrum as far as what is considered traditional archery. We've got everything from a self bow up to an aluminum riser, carbon limbed bow. You can put, kisser buttons on it, you can put rests on it, you can shoot off the shelf. As far as projectiles go, there's anything from wood of all kinds of varieties. You've got your aluminums, you've got your different manufacturers of carbons and different types of carbons. Weight within those projectiles, you can go front of center, very heavy. Broadheads, tabs, gloves, you name it, there's just a plethora of options out there as far as equipment alone. And then you break it down to actual shooting styles, and there's a huge variety of that. And for a new archer, this can be very, I think, intimidating as far as, well, what can I get, what should I get, coming from a world where there's a lot of the bests out there. Traditional archery doesn't really offer that, in Joe and my opinion. For some of you new archers, you might be around people that say, absolutely, this is the best thing, this is what you need to do. Some of you old guard archers who have been shooting bows longer than I've been around, you might have similar opinions. And so this video that we want to shoot is just to kind of have us all take a step back just a little bit and pick at that idea of what is traditional archery as far as that identity that you personally have, or you're looking forward to gain out of this journey that maybe you're just starting. For Joe and myself, we were kind of grassroots. We found an old Shakespeare bow down in my dad's basement that had a twisted limb, went to a local shop, and Terry at the Footed Shaft really hooked us up as far as we got some used arrows, some strings. I think we walked out of there for less than $100, and we were shooting that evening. And from that, we have kind of journeyed forward, and we've gotten everything from some relatively expensive gear down to some inexpensive gear. We've shot all types of different woods, aluminums, carbons. Right now I'm shooting Bobley recurve. Joe's been kind of jumping on his Great Northern Bush bow this last year. But our journey has taken us, in a huge loop as far as what we thought we wanted and what we're excited about. And for those of you who've been shooting for a long time, I'm sure yours has as well. Those of you who are new, though, it's extremely exciting out there because this spectrum is so broad. What I identify myself as a traditional archer might be a recurve bow with carbon arrows, and I want to go out and stump. That's my biggest thing. Another person might say, hey, you know what? I want to do it the hardest way I can, and I'm going to make my own bow, make my own arrows, and I want to take a white-tailed deer with it. That's going to be their goal or their identity. And so because we have this spectrum, it's so important, I think, that we as traditional archers kind of collaborate within our community and say, hey, you know what? We're different, but this is great. This is what makes traditional archery so nice. And for new archers, that we mentor them and say, hey, you know what? It's great that you're joining us. This is so exciting for us to have new people kind of joining our community, but help them with some of their initial decisions as far as maybe shooting styles and shooting equipment. Joe and I are huge proponents of a really light kind of pull weight, draw weight bow, so to speak, for a new archer. And some carbon arrows, I think, is an excellent way to start because it's a low-cost kind of way to get you in the door. And then after you've been shooting for a while, you're feeling a little more comfortable, you see what other people are doing. Their traditional identity within their mind might change, and they could go completely one direction or the other. But I think that all of us are somewhere within that fluid state or that spectrum where we're gonna bounce back and forth. We're gonna see something that tickles us a little bit and gets us excited, and so we're gonna try it out, or we're gonna do more research. Maybe you start out and you don't want to do a lot of crafting yourself, and then you're like, hey, you know what, after a year or a little bit longer, it's like the most pleasurable thing that you can do with your arrows is cresting yourself. You don't want to just buy them pre-fletched and shoot the factory crest. We're able to do all that within our traditional archery community, and the resources are out there. There's places like our channel, which is going to show you all kinds of different stuff. There's books, there's all kinds of different distributors that are out there, big name guys that have videos of their own that you can see how you can set up a bow, how you can shoot it. And for the elder guys and gals, of course, who've been shooting for a long time, you see a person kind of join your club and you're mentoring them. You can give them some of your lessons learned, so to speak. But like I said, there is no specific, this is the best way to do it. And so I found, just with the people that I've talked about, the reasons that they are a traditional archer are as diverse as the people I meet. And the equipment is just one component of it. But I think that if you identify with your equipment and your shooting style, you are going to be, one of the best archers that you personally can be. For Joe and myself, if we lock into our equipment and it doesn't cause us discomfort because it's a light enough bullet we're able to draw, we're going to shoot more. We're going to shoot more consistently. And then whether it's in the field and we're stumping or when we're out hunting, we're going to take better shots. We're going to know our limits because we spend the time in the field with the practice. And so definitely get out there, see what excites you, look for resources if you're new, or maybe just think about, if you're the person who's been shooting the exact same thing for a long time and you're great with it and you're content, that is your traditional identity. There's no reason to change. But don't be surprised if as you see other people, there's just that little bit of a push and something excites you and you end up with more bows than you probably should have and more types of arrows than a guy can shoot. But that's fun too. So definitely throw comments in here, let us know what you think. Welcome if you're a new archer, and if you've been there for a while, thanks for tuning in, kind of adding to the fire that traditional archery is within all of our souls.